President Goodluck Jonathan visited Osun State last Saturday in continuation of his move to woo traditional rulers in Yoruba land to his side for this month's presidential election. He visited the palaces of the Oni of Ife, Oba Okunade Shijuade, and the Owa Obokun of Ijesha land, Oba Adekunle Aromolaran. At the palace of Oni, traditional rulers prayed for President Jonathan, pointing their walking sticks at him. But the president of the traditional religion worshippers in Osun State, Awishe Idowu Awupetu, dismissed the prayers as lacking spiritual potency because the appropriate instruments of traditional prayers were not used.
It's not serious if they rely on Okpachile, the walking stick. It's nothing. The H sheet, the crown, the hostel, period hostel. That's all. So walking stick is not part of the power. They are just using that ceremonially.
Awupetu believed that the president may have been cajoled into believing in the prayer, but it was all an effort in futility. At the meantime, the All Progressives Congress has accused members of the People's Democratic Party of damaging the billboards of its candidates during the visit of President Jonathan. The billboards were destroyed in Ilesha and Ife, where the president visited.
It should not be strange. It's not strange to me, and it will not be strange to anybody in Nigeria today. Because if the First Lady of Nigeria, the President Jonathan, is saying anybody that caused change, they should stone the person, it means they are meant to be violent. And coupled with that, you can see the incident that happened over the weekend in Port Harcourt, where almost 11 people lost their lives. So are we going to continue in these circumstances?
If you are even tearing the posters and billboards from the faces of walls and from the base of the boards, can you tear away the positive impression that has been registered in the minds of the people? Can you tear away that from their mind? The only thing that we are scared of is that hope they will not unleash bigger violence on the day of election against the people to prevent them from going in the direction of change which they have desired.
Although the PDP has refuted the allegation, the APC said it will not retaliate but leave the electorate to judge. Ibrahim Alige, TVC News, Osun State.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is E15 and we are talking about the president's visit to Osun State. Let me start with you, Mojid. Do the traditional rulers have any role to play in who wins an elected position?
I think just like their colleagues in the northern parts of the country, they have refused to be joined into the political fray. I mean the emirs, the sultans, and what they have been doing up north is to pray for the aspirants and to pray for peaceful elections. And that's what I think our traditional rulers in the south should also emulate. The traditional institutions should be an institution that should be seen to be non-partisan. But I mean, we had an instance during the Abacha regime where a particular traditional ruler went to Abuja, saw the so-called phantom coup video, and said the thing actually made sense when MK Abiola was involved, a traditional ruler from the southwest, very prominent traditional ruler. I won't mention names here, but I think Nigerians will recall which traditional ruler did that at that time. And it's at the same time, traditional rulers from the north were invited to watch the same coup video then, but they refused to even go there. Those who went never made any comment. But I think we are back to the same scenario now, where we have the president who has virtually relocated to the southwest. The president in the last 3 weeks has been in the southwest for at least 3 days every weekend. And from information available to us in the media, I mean, he's also coming back again. And as I speak, all the PDP governors are in Lagos in a live program canvassing for the removal of Jega. So Going back to the issue of, I think it is rather absurd. It's very abnormal for the traditional institution, I mean, like that of the highly revered obas in Yoruba land, to be dragged into politicking. And I think it's rather it's like the religious institutions too. Some of them endorsing openly political office holders. I think it's very wrong.
Jude, what's the issue about the endorsement of the president in Osun?
Yeah, for those who are opposed to it, what they are saying is, look, what's this whole thing about? Traditional rulers cannot afford to go against the wishes of their people, and that they believe that these traditional rulers, each and every one of them, is entitled to his own singular vote, that they actually cannot perform any miracle for the president. The president has made an issue of going up and down, canvassing for votes from traditional rulers, especially in the southwest now, because he thinks that they have so much influence. But what people are saying is that these guys do not have the kind of influence that the president thinks that they have, and that they are it's just one vote that each and every one of them can actually give to the president. I think by and large, any traditional ruler who wants to be respected should not venture into the political arena. Nothing makes a traditional ruler so easily disrespected than to just take a stand to support a particular political group, a political party. Remember, we said on this program that we didn't like the idea of the Oba of Lagos publicly saying that the PDP that the gods of Lagos would not allow PDP to win in the state. Whatever, the traditional ruler will have his own conviction, his own preference among the political parties. But because he's like a priest who presiding over a church, he has his members who belong to different political parties. So it does not make any sense. Maybe for an Adeboye, for example, who is the head of the Redeemed Church, to come out and say, oh, APC is my party. Therefore, of course, within the church, there will be people who belong to the PDP. There will be people who belong to ABGA. If he says that, then the respect that people have for him will start going down.
And even destroy the congregation.
And my wish is that these politicians should leave traditional rulers alone. They should not destroy the image that these traditional rulers have. I've seen even governorship aspirants moving, going to places like Ekpe, going to different places and asking to be blessed by these traditional rulers. And I've seen traditional rulers in Lagos, after someone has visited them, after a politician has visited them, saying that, oh, we are behind you, and as we are going for this election, God will go with you, God will give you success. My feeling is that they are saying this because of the money that they want to collect.
That's what I wanted to tell you, that it might be inspired by...
Yes, it's not the money. And this looks like the season when you can actually make a lot of money from these desperate politicians. So you really cannot begrudge these people so much. These traditional rulers want to have their own piece of the cake that is being shared.
They might not get more than their salary from the Osun State governor.
That is, so even if they get paid regularly. So
declaring support,
they want to be part of the whole thing. So that is it.
Okay. The Constitution expects traditional rulers to be neutral in politics, but during electionary campaign, reverse seems to be the case. Don't you think this can damage that revered institution?
Not that it can damage, it has already damaged that institution. The kind of respect that traditional rulers used to have is no longer there, and It's not enough for us to say the politicians should leave traditional rulers alone. I think the traditional rulers also should learn to leave the politicians alone and keep to their throne and dignify their throne. Now, just like Jide said, you might have your convictions, but there are different ways you can pass the message across. I remember there was a time a particular traditional ruler in the, I think the South then, had a support for a particular candidate, and he used another chief to say it. Now, you could not trace it to he didn't say it. So that different, you could send other people to make statements about Benin that use the Shekure of Benin to make to make a statement, and those are different ways to do it. You should just learn to keep your traditional institutions sacred, because we can't.
And if you remember, the Oba of Benin wasn't even looking at the cultural, or what am I saying? The person who was endorsing that time is not from Benin Kingdom. He was endorsing a foreigner, and another Benin person was contesting against him. But the Oba was so objective.
Because the person he moved against was his father is a high chief in Benin Kingdom. So I think it has to do with how much respect these traditional rulers have for their own stool. If I don't respect my own stool, how do I expect other people to respect my own stool? And I think it will take a long process. We've gotten money involved in all these things. When you have politicians hand over staff of office to traditional rulers, and you cannot rule out that aspect of patronage. Because we still have it that before, even when the kingmakers anoint you as the king, you cannot fully assume that position until probably the governor or whoever gives you this tool. The staff of office. Now, until we take away this aspect, we'll keep having traditional rulers that are running to politicians for favor, because someday they will need that politician to hand them the staff of office, or might even remove them from office.
Lastly, on this topic, what is it about that staff that's in what's his name, Ibrahim Alege's package that was talking about?
Yes, what the people who have considerable knowledge of Nigerian, Yoruba culture, what they are saying is that when traditional rulers point their staff at you, it suggests that they are cursing you. That when they want to bless you, it is the whisk, the hostile that they use. But in this case, they were pointing their staff at this man. So the question I ask myself is, are they cursing him for allegedly marginalizing the Yorubas in the last 4 years? Because this is...
Or they didn't come with their... horse.
Well, even if they didn't go there with it,
the first thing
even if they didn't go there with
it, is your hostel when you are going out. The walking stick, which they call opaitile, is just secondary. So they must have been told to come with the opaitile. And if you are
my producer is telling me that some of them have the hostel with them.
They just didn't use it.
It is the hostel. The hostel is the first thing a traditional ruler goes out with, just like the crown. After the crown,
is there some of them?
Let me just ask you this. I'm not a Yoruba man, but sometimes in certain functions, you see, even when the Oba is not there, they send the staff. Does it also symbolize
the staff represents him?
The staff represents.
Is there a correlation with this?
No. The staff represents the.
And that one, then the crown will go with it.
The crown will go with it.
Okay, the crown.
But this thing that they are pointing at my president, there is no crown.
There is
no crown. Is on the mask.
There is no crown.
There is no. There is.
That's the walking stick. It's like the man has been conned. Yeah.
This is a very shameful.
And I think it relegates the whole essence of the sanctity of that office, of the office of the president.
You see, what the president must realize,
can you imagine an Obama?
No, that's where I'm going.
Need this?
Is the repertoire of the respect of Nigerians. Is the president of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Is the repository of respect of Nigerians. So if he goes to a place, he goes with Nigerians.
Yeah.
He goes with the image of Nigeria. So if he stoops down for some fellows to be pointing insignificant sticks at him and purporting to be blessing him, when it does not even connote any form of blessing, then it is Nigeria that he has put to shame. It has to be said that if our president does something that diminishes him, it is not him alone that has been diminished.
It's the office.
He has diminished the office and diminished Nigeria.
Nigeria.
No, because it's the symbol of the country.
Yes.
My producer is going to play the visual of the governor of Imo State and the chairman of the All Progressive Congress Governors Forum, Anayo Rochas Okorocha.
General Buhari, his victory has been signed, sealed, and delivered. But let me tell you something. Don't tell anybody, please. Will you tell somebody? Don't tell anybody. I want to tell you one secret, Today, about 7 governors who are not APC is coming to hold meeting with us privately to join us. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Number 2, there's fear in the country. The fear is that they know Buhari is a good man. They know Buhari will win. But there's one fear. The fear is that once they announce Buhari as a president on the 28th of March, all the bad people where they chop our money, they go run for midnight.
The governor of Imo State, Owele Rochas Okorocha, disclosing that 7 PDP governors have been meeting with the All Progressive Congress ahead of the 2015 election. It's getting very, very interesting. 17 days to the presidential election. Eshomoma, let me start from you. Rochas Okorocha says 7 have been meeting, having secret meeting. What's the implication of this?
Yeah, if that is true, then it's a very bad signal for the PDP, because it's better you know those who are on your side than to think you have friends that, after all, are just enemies in your camp. But also the question is, can you believe that story? 7, not 1, not 2, and 7 just came out and are meeting with you. Then which means APC is doing a great job if they've been able to get into the camp of 7 governors and are getting them to align with their vision. I think at the end of the day, election is just some few weeks from now, and everything will lay bare.
17 days, in the next 17
exactly.
days, we'll unravel this.
Exactly.
Jide, do you see this as a merely propaganda that the PDP has no future? Do you see this? Because if you remove 7 from their ranks now, it's like a death sentence on the People's Democratic Party.